United States Senator Bob Menendez, who just got out of a trial that ended in a mistrial, federal corruption charges then dropped by the federal government. Some people thought Bob Menendez would be headed to prison. Instead, he is running for re-election, and he's got all the big shots surrounding him at his event. Our own Nate Rogers was there. Nate, what do you got?
Bill, Senator Menendez was welcomed here at Union City High School as a son of the city. He actually grew up not too far from the school. No more than 3,500 sophomores, juniors, and seniors packed Union City High School's gymnasium Wednesday morning. The students were joined by Governor Phil Murphy, Senator Cory Booker, and several other city and state dignitaries. The two-term senator criticized President Trump on various policies. He spoke about the urgency for nationwide health care, fewer tax breaks for CEOs, and protection for immigrants. Menendez also spoke about tightening gun laws, including a ban on assault rifles and the need for universal background checks.
You know, throughout my life, I've worked hard for good grades, as I hope you're doing here. But I am proud to have a big fat F from the NRA. I am proud to be standing here with you in this gym, more hopeful than ever that change is within our reach.
When he was honestly saying how he grew up here, and he was like, you know, I grew up right by here, my mom was a seamstress, how his parents were immigrants too, and I can relate to it because my dad came here and then he worked all his papers and stuff.
Today's announcement comes months after Menendez escaped federal bribery and corruption charges. The 64-year-old still faces a Senate Ethics Committee investigation following the indictment. Menendez is a former Union City mayor. He was elected senator first in 2006. His Republican opponent is Bob Menendez, who also has roots here in Union City. Now, Menendez has said in the past that Menendez violated the public's trust following those corruption charges. In Union City, I'm Nate Rogers for Chasing News.
Thank you, Nate. All right, let's bring in somebody who knows a little bit about politics in New Jersey and will be at the forefront of the battle to beat Bob Menendez. His name is Doug Steinhardt, and he is the chairman of the Republican Party in New Jersey. Doug, welcome back to Chasing News. How are you?
It's great, Bill. I'm doing fine.
Menendez is coming off acting like nothing has happened. He is on an emotional tear. He's ready to go. He's probably got good reason, given the fact that the numbers in this state don't favor a Republican candidate statewide, and given just the lackluster response it seems people have to Republicans after Chris Christie. Can Bob Menendez overcome that?
Absolutely. I think most New Jerseyans want their elected officials to be men and women of honor and integrity. I think most millennials want us to understand that the world isn't ours. We're just keeping it for the next generation. Bob Menendez represents the past. Bob Menendez represents the future.
On Monday, the legislature, pretty much every Republican gave Governor Murphy a win on what they called equal pay, which really it wasn't. It was more Empower the Lawyers bill. But they seemed afraid of this bill because of, you know, the sensitivity of the women vote, et cetera. Only 2 Republicans stood up and opposed the governor on this. How does the Republican Party come out and say, hey, we've got a different message?
In Bob Menendez's case, it's a combination of things. I think, you know, you have Bob Menendez, a career politician who spent more time running for the law than he has representing his constituents. New Jersey needs a U.S. senator that will use his or her considerable influence to improve the lives of New Jersey's 9 million residents, not just those of his friends and political donors.
Okay. Thanks, Doug. We'll stay in touch throughout this race, I'm sure. All right, let's bring in the A-plus panel, Randy and Bob. Bob, I'm going to start with you. You're a Democrat. Bob Menendez, is he damaged goods? And do you think this rich guy coming in that's going to spend potentially tens of millions can beat him?
No, I don't think he's damaged goods. I think he's a guy, once again, who has established resilience in the face of the DOJ. Don't forget, they violated their own guidelines when they dropped subpoenas on him years ago in order to sully him during another election cycle. I never understood the trial against him in the first place. And I'm saying that as a prosecutor, not as a Democrat or a Republican. I predicted from the beginning, as came out to be true, it was going to be a not guilty or a hung jury, and those jurors listened to that evidence and they came back and they were disgusted by the fact that he was prosecuted. So I think that people in Jersey are fair, and I think that they're going to say if he was not convicted, then he should not be held accountable. With his money, with his background, I respectfully disagree with your guest there. He has done a tremendous amount. He's a very powerful senator, and I think his career goes forward undaunted, as it should.
Randy, the issues, they're going to be taxes. It's going to be a referendum potentially on President Trump, who doesn't score so well polling in this state. But But do you think that a Bob Hugan, a guy who served his country honorably in the military, who has got sons who are serving honorably in the Marine Corps, does he have a shot? And is this the kind of refreshing, non-political candidate that might get people excited?
I think he's got an uphill battle in New Jersey. We're a blue state. We consider ourselves very progressive. He's also got some questionable stuff with his former drug company in the past. He's not necessarily clean of all that himself. And it's the anti-Trump backlash.
But again,
we're
even
very
that,
emotional
nobody's
right
accusing
now.
anybody of wrongdoing. It's just a nice talking point. Hey, did he make a lot of money off the backs of people? And you could put that argument, I think, on anybody. But we shall see. All right, Randy, Bob, thank you, guys. Good to have you on the show.